Alright guys, I'm just testing out a new feature. This is Matt McGloin at Cosmic Book News. I'm going live. We're going to talk Daredevil and Avengers 4 in a little bit. I'm just configuring some things on my end. Just bear with me for a second as the audience builds up. Let's see. Do this. Let's see. We're connected. No secrets. Alright, we're online. This is Matt McGloin at Cosmic Book News. We're going to talk Daredevil and Avengers in a second. I'm just configuring some things on my end. We're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Smashcast all at the same time. We'll see how it goes. Let's see here. Daredevil. Let's see. Where is it? Alright, here we go. Once again, we're going live. We're building the audience right now. Give me a minute. We're going to talk Daredevil and Avengers in a second. Buck Brackett says, "I'm sure Daredevil will be on Disney Plus." We're gonna go over that. All right, we're getting the comments in. This is a new feature that we're doing right now. We're streaming live on. Let's see, that wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, I think I hit the button. Let me see. All right, this is a new feature, so let's see what happens. There we go. Yeah. All right. The video is unavailable. Let's see something. It's not working on YouTube. All right, looks like we're good on Facebook. I'm trying to connect YouTube right now. All right, looks like that's good. Right now we're on Facebook Live, we're on YouTube Live, we're on Smashcast, and we're on Twitch, all at the same time. We're going to be talking Daredevil and Avengers 4. Okay, Facebook's building up. Let's see YouTube. Oop, I got it. It's on private. Let's see. There we go. All right, give me a minute. I'm just configuring YouTube. Video is unavailable. Let's see something. Let's see. All right, looks like we're good on YouTube. We're good on Facebook. Hey guys, hope all is well. Says Sean Jude. I hear you, brother. All right, I think we're gonna begin now. Hopefully this all works out. But all right, where was I? All right, my name is Matt McGloin. I run Cosmic Book News. This is our first time multi-streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Smash, and Twitch. We're going to talk Daredevil and the cancellation of Daredevil and Avengers. Let me just make sure this is working right. Let me check. I'll check Facebook real quick, see what's going on. Oh, I gotta. Let's try this. There we go. I think that did the trick. Let's see. Let's see. We're on Facebook. This guy's making me sleep. I'm working on it, buddy. All right, here we go. Yesterday, saw the unfortunate news that Netflix has decided to cancel Daredevil, which kind of was a surprise, maybe not a big surprise. We know they already canceled Iron Fist and Luke Cage, but there was various reports stating that maybe Iron Fist and Luke Cage were canceled because of the the viewership numbers were down, and they were judging that by social media numbers for Iron Fist and Luke Cage, since people apparently weren't talking about Luke Cage or Iron Fist too much on social media. They figured that the viewership and ratings were down because Netflix doesn't release their viewership at all. But it was thought Daredevil was probably obviously the highest viewed of all the Netflix shows. But here's Netflix's official statement. They said Marvel's Daredevil will not return for a fourth season on Netflix. We are tremendously proud of the show's last and final season, and although it's painful for the fans, we feel it's best to close this chapter on a high note. We're thankful to showrunner Eric Olson, the show's writers, stellar crew, and incredible cast, including Charlie Cox's Daredevil himself, and we're grateful to the fans who have supported the show over the years. While the series on Netflix has ended, the 3 existing seasons will remain on the service for years to come, while the Daredevil character will live on in future projects for Marvel. Now that last sentence right there is pretty interesting because Netflix just said that the existing seasons of Daredevil that they have, the 3 seasons, are going to remain on Netflix for years to come. So what does that mean? That Netflix obviously still has the Daredevil rights to that version of Daredevil, I suppose, the Charlie Cox version. But they added, while the Daredevil character will live on. So what does that mean? That Marvel could reboot the Daredevil character using somebody else? That's what it sounds like to me. In case you're wondering, Jessica Jones and Punisher, their seasons are still going to air on Netflix, but obviously they're going to get canceled too after they air. Regarding why Netflix decided to cancel Daredevil, it's more than likely because of the Disney Plus streaming app. Next year sees Disney launch their own streaming service, which will compete with Netflix, and it's actually going to be cheaper. So, Netflix obviously probably isn't too happy with that, right? There's been reported creative differences between Netflix and Marvel TV. Netflix has been said they wanted to cut down the number of episodes from 13 to 10, and Marvel TV has been against that. There's been a bunch of different showrunners on the various Netflix shows. Now, this is pretty interesting. Back when Daredevil Season 3 premiered, it was really close to Iron Fist Season 2 and had some people scratching their head, and there was an interview with the head of Marvel TV, Jeff Loeb, where he said, he came out and said that Netflix Defenders aren't even the real Defenders. No, I mean, why would he even say that? It doesn't even make sense, right? So what is he saying, that Netflix is the one who came up with the Defenders idea and Marvel TV just went along with it? Jeff Loeb said, there are a lot of Avengers, and through that you should be able to ascertain that there may be lots of Defenders. And this is what he says: no one at any time referred to them as the Defenders. I mean, they call the show the Defenders, but head of TV Jeff Loeb is saying they never referred to them as the Defenders. Loeb continues and he says they didn't wear little D's on their belts. They didn't go into a building that had a big Defenders sign. You know, Loeb says they were just 4 mismatched heroes who were joined by a lot of other heroes. That's kind of a strange thing to say. So I guess that means Marvel TV or Marvel could do their own Defenders again with different characters, right? Maybe they could do it the right way, Silver Surfer and Hulk and Namor and such. But what's also to add insult to injury, right? I think right after Daredevil Season 3 premiered, Netflix rebranded their Marvel's Defenders Facebook page. You know, Netflix had a Marvel's Defenders Facebook page to promote the miniseries event series. But what's interesting, it was owned and run by Netflix, not Marvel. So Netflix was running a Marvel's Defenders page, Marvel wasn't. And then once Defenders got the boot, we knew that was happening. That was the one and done. Netflix rebranded the Marvel's Defenders page into their own geek page called NX on Netflix. That's kind of. I mean, I've been following this news for the writing's been on the wall. I think once Disney announced that they were doing a streaming service, and they said, you know, no future MCU movies are going to be on Netflix. You know, Infinity War that comes out on Christmas Day is the last MCU movie, and then starting with Captain Marvel, all the rest of the Marvel Studios movies are going to be housed on, you know, the Disney Plus streaming app. But what's also interesting is that Marvel Studios is developing the TV series for the Disney Plus streaming service, not Marvel TV. Marvel Studios and Marvel TV actually they don't even get along. Marvel Studios they're doing a Tom Hiddleston Loki series, Elizabeth Olsen Scarlet Witch series with Paul Bettany as the Vision. There's a team-up series for Anthony Mackie and Falcon and Sebastian Stan as Winter Soldier. And there's even a rumor that they're going to do a Rocket and Groot series maybe for the Disney Plus streaming app. That'd be cool if they threw in Thor. So yeah, I mean it's a big bummer for a lot of people that they canceled Daredevil, and basically all the Marvel Netflix shows are done. Here's Deborah Ann Wall. She plays Karen Page. She took to Twitter, and she basically says the show is done too. She says, I'm so sad that we won't be continuing this story. Mostly I'll miss seeing the friends I made every day. Thank you to every person who contributed to this series over the years. The Daredevil showrunner, Daredevil Season 3 showrunner, he posted some lengthy statements too on Twitter. He said sometimes a gig is just a paycheck. When we're lucky, it's so much more. There is something magical about working on Daredevil. So it sounds like it's done. But then following the cancellation last night, a reporter for Rolling Stone took to Twitter. You know, as I see in some of these comments here, people are wondering if the Daredevil shows, the Marvel Netflix shows, will go to the Disney streaming service, or if they'll go to Hulu. Well, this guy here, Alan Sepinwall, he says that's not happening and that they're all done. He posted a bunch of tweets, and you know, he basically explained what's going on, which, if you're familiar with Marvel's history, it has to do with Marvel TV not getting along with Marvel Studios. Marvel CEO Ike Perlmutter and his Marvel Comics Creative Committee caused all kinds of problem with the MCU movies, and that's the real reason why Daredevil and all those guys in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. never appeared in Infinity War, because it was never connected. It's not all connected, and it never was. Kevin Feige, Marvel Studios president, booted Perlmutter and his Marvel Comics creative committee from being involved with the MCU because they caused all kinds of problems, and that's why it said like Whedon, when after Avengers 2 had to take a break and was done with comic movies and Marvel and all that. And James Gunn's even said that the Marvel Comics creative committee caused problems with the first Guardians of the Galaxy. So the Rolling Stone guy, he goes on to talk about a little bit. It says right here, the Marvel shows for Disney Plus are being produced by Marvel movie execs. That's Marvel Studios, not Marvel TV, who do not like or get along with the Marvel TV execs who made Daredevil. What's interesting, Sepinwall says they could make a Luke Cage show down the line, but he says they'd have to basically reboot the character, similar to like Sony ditching Andrew Garfield for Tom Holland. So that goes right back to what Netflix said in their statement, that they own the TV rights for years to come to Daredevil, but the character of Daredevil, not the actor, or their version of Daredevil, could be used down the road, which kind of fits in line with this next article, Marvel TV. Marvel TV made an official statement too. They posted it to Marvel.com, which is pretty interesting too. Right here it says, we look forward to more adventures with the Man Without Fear in the future. That's from Marvel TV. Now what does that mean? It could mean Daredevil's going to appear on, the final seasons of Jessica Jones and Punisher, which is probably likely. I imagine they might do some sort of send-off maybe for Daredevil and Punisher or Jessica Jones or both. But it could also mean maybe down the road there's plans for Daredevil in the MCU. I don't know. If that's up to Kevin Feige, and if he did that, I think he'd use a different actor, I imagine, and it would be years down the road. So I think we're Marvel, Daredevil's done for. I'm pretty sure. So Daredevil's canceled, Luke Cage is canceled, Iron Fist is canceled. Last seasons of Jessica Jones and Punisher will air on Netflix, and then you could assume Netflix will also announce their cancellations. And then next year we have this news hit today. We'll check it out real quick here. Next year, the Scarlet Witch Marvel Studios series will be airing on the Disney Plus streaming service. And it's not just going to be Scarlet Witch, it's going to be Vision and Scarlet Witch. So we assume Paul Bettany will be there alongside Elizabeth Olsen. Some details for that include it'll be about the superpowered couple, Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda and Paul Bettany's Vision. That looks to be the first, according to this report, this could be the first Marvel Studios TV series, or possibly Tom Hiddleston's Loki. But Disney did officially announce Tom Hiddleston's Loki, but they haven't announced filming or anything like that. Like Deadline's the one who came up with this one. So it looks like they're transitioning away from Marvel TV into Marvel Studios, which I think is a bonus. You're going to have some quality TV shows finally with Marvel Studios. Let's see. I'll check the chat real quick. Ooh, we got, let's see, Deadpool, Star Wars. Marvel fan 1234 on YouTube asks, "Hey, do you think the trailer will come out on Stanley's birthday on December 28th?" All right, let's go into the Avengers 4 trailer. Let's see. Let me load this. Boom. Quality sound. First, we'll talk about what happened a couple days ago. The Russo brothers Q&A was held, right? And with Collider and ArcLight Theaters. Now this took place on the exact 1-year anniversary that Marvel first released the first Infinity War teaser poster with the news that the trailer would hit the next day. So a lot of fans, I mean, we were on YouTube that night. I was on there for like 4.5 hours with a bunch of us, and we were following all the news, following Twitter. We were waiting for something. You know, there was this Redditor. He said he was waiting in line. He said he was in the theater. Then he took a bathroom break, and then you know, he took a bathroom break and updated Reddit and said, "Well, the vibe in the theater and the line is that we're getting something. We're definitely getting something." You know, so we all, you know, we were all following along and figured at least something. So around midnight Eastern, the movie ended, and then the Russo brothers, you know, came on, and they went for, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours, 2 hours, I think. You know, it was a long Q&A. But they started the Q&A offering that they weren't going to say anything about the Avengers 4 trailer. Here, take a look. When asked about the Avengers 4 trailer, this is what they did. The video will play. Doesn't look like. Oh, here we go. So once again, this is from the Collider Q&A from the other night. Infinity War screening was held, and then a special Q&A with the Russo brothers afterwards, which tons of fans thought, you know, they were going to drop something, you know, at least maybe announce when the trailer would be released, announce when, you know, the title, release a poster, give us something. But they started the Q&A offering that any Avengers 4 questions, this is what they're going to be responding with. Okay, so obviously we all know we didn't get anything, right? Well, now the current speculation and even rumor is that the trailer is coming Monday. Now, if you watched our live chat on during the Russo brothers Q&A, some people brought it up that they thought the trailer was going to be released on December 5th, Wednesday, which in conjunction with the Marvel Comics Prelude comic. However, as I've brought up a couple times, while it's true the Prelude comic comes out on Wednesday, comic book shops get their comics on Tuesday, and the East Coast, they'll get them Tuesday morning. So I said, you know, Marvel Studios would either need to release the trailer or poster, or at least the title, on before that, assuming that the Prelude comic has the title on it. Because what would happen if they didn't release the trailer, title or poster or whatever? Comic shop owners would get the Prelude comic on Tuesdays, and they would know the title, and of course somebody would leak it. So Marvel Studios isn't going to let that happen. Now, the Avengers 4 trailer is now said to be coming on Monday. This guy right here, Anthony Quintano, he said, "Get ready for an Avengers 4 title and trailer release." Who is this dude? Well, he looks like he's got some. He looks pretty legit because he says he's trained journalists from TV anchors and correspondents to campaign embeds and NBC executives. I checked out his LinkedIn. You know, it seemed to mash up, and on his Twitter, he says he's a photojournalist and social media manager, and he's worked at Civil Beat, NBC News, Today Show, Recode, and CNBC. So he tweeted out, "Get ready for an Avengers 4 title and trailer release on Monday," which makes sense. Again, if the Prelude comic has a title on it and it's going to get published on Wednesday, and comic shop owners get it on Tuesday, that means the title or a trailer or a teaser poster has to be released on Monday by Marvel Studios. Now, some fans they question him about it. You know, one asked him if it was, you know, if the information was from the Russo brothers, and he said no, they wouldn't budge. It's based on a hint from a source. Another fan asked if they were getting trolled, because we're all getting trolled lately about Avengers 4. And he said he's not trolling anyone. This is the first time I shared any Marvel news, and that he normally doesn't report on such things. I just happened to get information from a source and shared it. Another fan also questioned if the info was legit, and he said, I'm confident in my source. So, right here, this is the Avengers Prelude comic, and we're assuming Wednesday, when this thing gets published, this will say the title. So Marvel Studios has to beat this out. They can't let this get out without revealing the title beforehand. Otherwise, this is going to be the big reveal, and we'd find out Tuesday when comic shop owners get it delivered. Because Diamond Comics distributes the comics to comic shops on Tuesday, so they could set up early and get their displays ready, and then they're supposed to sell the comics on Wednesdays. But that doesn't always happen, or the comic shop owners and their friends will leak the information or what have you. So if this comic, Prelude comic that gets published December 5th on Wednesday, has the title, you can guarantee something's coming before that. Probably like this guy Anthony Quintano says on Monday, that so Avengers 4 trailer or title, or at least maybe a poster with the title. They could already release a poster with the title on Monday. And then this comic come out, and you know, it wouldn't matter if it had the title, and then they could do the trailer some other time. But look for, if they do release the trailer on Monday, look for what is it, Good Morning America on Channel 7 or ABC. That's you could probably guarantee the trailer's getting released on, you know, something owned by Disney. If not Good Morning America or the Today Show or whatever's on ABC, I could see the trailer getting released on Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel's ABC, and they always throw Jimmy Kimmel a bone about, you know, trailers and Marvel stuff and things like that. But that's the best guess right now. Avengers 4 trailer Monday, because the Prelude comic comes out on Wednesday. They're not going to release the trailer on Wednesday because comic shop owners get this on Tuesday. That's assuming, again, we're assuming this shows the title, and not just, maybe they just keep it Avengers Prelude, and then we gotta wait more. We gotta wait longer. That's why Marvel fan 1234, I don't think it's gonna be December 28th. It's too long. But Kevin Feige did say the trailer's coming out before the end of the year, so they could always release the title and then the trailer later, but we don't know. Who's going to watch the Game Awards next Thursday? There's actually a bit of information on that. There's a rumor. We can go into that real quick. For a while now, I don't know, it's been at least a couple years, there's been a rumor about a Superman movie by Rocksteady Studios, you know, the maker of the Batman Arkham games. You know, there's been all kinds of stuff said that there's a Superman video game coming out. A couple days ago, saw information seemingly leaked that they're doing a Superman World's Finest video game where you could play as Batman, Superman, and Robin. There's a website, the Game System Requirements website. It's a site that lists minimum and recommended specs for PC games. Somebody at the Reset Era forums found a page listed for Superman's World's Finest. Worth a mention is that that website GSR also listed Devil May Cry 5 a month prior to its official announcement. So that seems to say that an announcement for Superman's World's Finest video game could be forthcoming. Now, on top of this, a Twitter user that writes for Kotaku, he said it's not a Superman game, but it's a game about a group of superheroes, which obviously would be Justice League, right, if it's DC. So he's saying it's not Superman. It's basically it's a Justice League video game. You know, it's possible that maybe Rocksteady started developing a Superman game with Batman and Robin, but you know they added additional characters like Wonder Woman, maybe Aquaman and Flash, Green Lantern. But it's possible. Rocksteady last year they skipped out on the E3, so maybe on Thursday's the Game Awards. Maybe they're going to announce a Justice League Superman game at the Game Awards on Thursday. It's also been said that this dude on Twitter, he said that the Superman video game is going to be a games as a service type thing, which is where the game, you know, continues to monetize content, kind of like, you know, how Fortnite you buy battle passes, or World of Warcraft you continue to buy stuff, or whatever, you know, various MMOs. So we'll have to see. But what's interesting, if they dump Superman for Justice League, is, you know, like Henry Cavill is questionable to return as Superman, and there's no new Superman movies right now. And now we hear that possibly the Superman game from Rocksteady got turned into a Justice League game. It doesn't sound like coincidence to me. The Avengers Project game, we haven't heard anything about that in a long time. That's probably, I imagine that's still being developed. The good news for that is that Marvel Gaming, the guy that runs it basically, is former Marvel Comics editor Bill Roseman. Now he's the editor that edited Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning's stellar Nova 2007 Nova run, the 2008 Guardians of the Galaxy movie comic that inspired the movie, and all of, you know, Marvel Cosmic prior to Bendis and Jeff Loeb ruining it, and Axel Alonso and Joe Quesada. So he's probably one of the guys you could thank for the Spider-Man PS4 game being so good. That's Bill Roseman. He's on Twitter too. He's a good guy. Let's see. Let me check the chat. Yeah, you hope they. Logan Mills on Facebook says he hopes they release both. Yeah, a Superman game. A Superman game would be cool, and Justice League game would be cool too. Because then, you know, if it's anything like as good as the Arkham games, that'd be wild. We're long overdue for something like that. You know, we've had the Batman Arkham game. Now Spider-Man PS4. It's kind of similar, but nothing that we know. Let's see what else we got. When does the trailer come out? Now on Monday. We don't know anything. We don't know what time. I assume in the morning on Monday. If it comes out at all on Monday. Maybe it could come out at 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning. All right, we'll check the chat, see what we got. We're streaming. This is our first time we're streaming live on YouTube. We're streaming on Facebook, at Twitch, and Smash TV. Let me just check. All right, that's good. So this is my first time multi-streaming on. What was it? Wednesday night. We were on YouTube live for like. I was on there for like 4.5 hours. We were going on over everything. The Avengers 4 trailer. We were waiting on the news. We were following all the tweets that were coming in from the Russo brothers Q&A. But I just figured out how to multi-stream. at the same time on various social networks, so I'll probably be doing this more often. Marvel fan 1234 on YouTube says that he heard the Russo brothers were going to be at the Game Awards, possibly a trailer on Thursday. I don't know, maybe. I know that they are big. The Russo brothers are big video game fans. They're the ones responsible for getting Thanos in Fortnite. And then as we saw, that's a good point that Marvel fan 1234 brings up. We saw at the Q&A. See if I can get it. We saw the Q&A right here. If you guys can see this, I'll zoom in. This is Anthony Russo. He's wearing a Fortnite T-shirt. So I don't. They could be at the Game Awards, but whether they're going to drop the trailer there, I don't know. But what I could see them doing is releasing the trailer on Monday, and then bringing the trailer with them to the Game Awards and showing it again on Thursday. I could see that because yeah, they're big gamers. I think they got kids that play and all that stuff. But once again for the Avengers 4. Ooh, let me reset this. Avengers 4 trailer, we're guessing Monday, not Wednesday. Because Wednesday, the Prelude comic comes out. And we're assuming right here, this is the Prelude comic that comes out Wednesday. This will change. This title will change and show the Avengers 4 official title. So the Marvel Studios has to beat this out. They have to release something, assuming that this shows the title. Let's see what we got. What does Kevin Smith think about it? So there we go. We got Daredevil is canceled, and now we got the Avengers 4 trailer coming out. Marvel TV does have what do they got? They got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6 coming out, but not until the summer. Basically, what happened with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you notice, Clark Gregg plays Phil Coulson. He's coming back for the Captain Marvel movie, which is set in the past in the 1990s, right? So he's coming back. Samuel L. Jackson came back at the end of Infinity War. He's going to be featured in Captain Marvel. Basically, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s back. And now we see S.H.I.E.L.D.'s back, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is on hiatus. And did you notice the MCU basically killed off S.H.I.E.L.D. in Winter Soldier, right? So there's always been this disconnect between Marvel TV and Marvel Studios. So regarding S.H.I.E.L.D., Coulson's coming back in Captain Marvel. There's no Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series. Convenient, we don't get to see the snapping happen in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or who disappeared or what have you, who turned to dust. But it comes back in the summer with 13 episodes, half the season. And Marvel TV just announced Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7 is happening, with another 13 episodes. So basically what it sounds like they did is they split Season 6 in half, 13 episodes each. But with Season 7, they didn't announce that Clark Gregg was returning. I think he's coming back to direct episodes, but right now it doesn't seem as if Coulson will be back for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at least Season 7. I'm not even sure about Season 6. What do we got? Okay, let me take a pause for a second. I just want to check some things out and see what's going on. Make sure this is working. Alrighty. see if this is working here. What happened here? Try this. There we go. See if Twitter. Whoop. We'll get back on in a second and talk about Daredevil getting canceled again in Avengers 4 trailer. Let's see. Well, here's Carlos Omer Mateo Cruz asks, what do you think they're going to use for the Avengers 4 title? All right, let's go over the Avengers 4 title. I was the one who first said that the Avengers 4 title was going to be called Endgame. I was told the info from a family friend's friend who worked on Captain Marvel, Avengers 4, Infinity War, and some other stuff. I was told the information prior to even the world premiere of Infinity War. Then that Thursday, I revealed that I was told the title was Avengers Endgame on Thursday before the Thursday advanced screenings. And then as we all went, we saw Infinity War, we saw Doctor Strange drop the line in the movie. So I was told Avengers Endgame was the title. Then the Marvel cinematographer, he updated his resume with Avengers Endgame, and then he deleted it. And I think he put Avengers 4 back on it. But then it was said, the Russo brothers said that they were asked if the Avengers 4 title is said in Infinity War, and they said no, which maybe means they changed it. Or who knows, they could be tricking us like they did with the Hulk footage in the Infinity War trailer. But I think Endgame is the perfect title for Avengers 4, because not only is it about, obviously, what the Avengers are, they're going to do to reverse things or fix things, but it also it teases what's to come. Like Marvel's true Endgame is what's next, with Phase 4, not just how Phase 1 ends. There's a rumor that it was Avengers Annihilation. I don't think it's Avengers Annihilation. I hope it's not Avengers Annihilation. If you've been a follower of the site for a while, it's called Cosmic Book News, which is a play on Marvel Cosmic Comic Book News. So you shorten it to Cosmic Book News, Cosmic Comic Book News, because I started this site like 10 years ago to promote Abnett and Lanning's Nova and Guardians of the Galaxy, Quasar, Wendell Vaughn. He's one of my favorite Marvel characters. And the site and everything, and Nova and Guardians of the Galaxy, they all sprung out of Keith Giffen and editor Andy Schmidt's Annihilation event comic. So, Annihilation had nothing to do with the Avengers. Marvel Comics always been by itself, away from the Avengers. Like Joe Quesada, when he was EIC at Marvel Comics, he could care less about Cosmic. As long as enough it sold, he didn't care. He didn't want anything to do with it. He doesn't understand it. He doesn't like Cosmic. So Annihilation it did pretty well. It sold pretty well. And coming out of Annihilation, Giffen went back to DC, and editor Andy Schmidt left Marvel. I think he went to Hasbro, actually, or Mattel. And then that's when Marvel Comics editor Bill Roseman came on. And he didn't really know too much about cosmic stuff. He was more like a street-level guy, like, most of the Marvel editors under Joe Quesada are. They're like Spider-Man and Daredevil and stuff like that. Not cosmic, which is just space and these big, epic storylines. But, so out of Annihilation, they launched Nova, the 2000 Nova with Richard Rider. Phenomenal series. Some of the best guys I met online are Nova fans, and they're as hardcore, if not hardcore, than I am about Nova than I am about Quasar. And we were all at the CBR back when Comic Book Resources was a good site before it got bought out. They had an Annihilation forum, an Annihilation board, where editor Andy Schmidt would answer questions. He'd post and answer questions. We were all. That's where I met a bunch of Quasar fans, because at the end of Annihilation, or during Annihilation, Quasar died, and then Phyla got the quantum bands from Annihilus. They magically floated, from Annihilus to Phyla, and all of us Quasar fans went ballistic. We got together on the Quantum Zone forums, the quantumzone.org, the forums there, and we all campaigned Marvel to bring back Wendell Vaughn as Quasar. I started before Cosmic Book News. My first site was bringbackwendell.com. It was there was a campaign to bring back Wendell Vaughn as Quasar. We actually we sent the Marvel Comics offices a Bring Back Wendell cake. If you Google the Bring Back Wendell cake, I think an article on CBR comes up, and some other places. So at the time, all us Cosmic guys, we knew, like, Marvel, they didn't care about Cosmic. Marvel Comics didn't care about Cosmic at all. They barely promoted the Abnett and Lanning stuff. Marvel would, feed CBR interviews and exclusives all the time, and they'd all be about Avengers or, characters like that. So I came up with the idea to start a website that's, like strictly focused on the cosmic stuff. And contacted Marvel, to get our site approved by their PR so they could send us press releases and stuff. And then because of the Bring Back Wendell campaign, I had contacted Bill Roseman. Excuse me. And we got to chat, through email and stuff like that. And he seemed to take a liking to us Quasar guys in the Cosmic News website once they started in the forums. So he would send us exclusive previews every week. We'd post Guardians of the Galaxy previews, exclusive art from like Brad Walker. He was the artist for majority of Guardians of the Galaxy, I think. Cool guy. And we'd post exclusive solicits, like big sites like CBR or at the time Newsarama or IGN. They'd post the solicits, a bunch of solicits of the Marvel comics that are coming out exclusively, and we would too. We do just the cosmic stuff, maybe there'd be like 2 titles, Nova and Guardians of the Galaxy, right? But we get the exclusive stuff, so that's how I kind of built the audience that we have. So I'm getting back to the title of Avengers Annihilation. Again, the Annihilation comic didn't have anything to do with the Avengers. And obviously the MCU is different than the comics, but if they are using Annihilation for Avengers 4, either it spoils Annihilus and Nova appearing in the movie, right? Because that's what happened. Annihilus invaded the negative zone, or Annihilus and his negative zone forces invaded our or the Marvel universe and decimated it, and then decimated Xandar, and that's how Richard Rider Nova got the Nova Force. So people are assuming something happens similar in Avengers 4. So Annihilation right there is a spoiler. And then on the other hand, say Marvel Studios decides not to use Nova or Annihilus, or it has nothing to do with the Annihilation comic, but they call Avengers 4 Annihilation. That doesn't even make sense, and that's a huge disappointment. That's why I don't think Annihilation is the title for Avengers 4. It's too spoilery. It's too disappointing. Either way you look at it, and I don't think the Russo brothers or Marvel Studios are going to do that. In addition, I think when Avengers Annihilation was released, it was just a ruse. It was fake news. It was done to kind of promote Mark Ruffalo's appearance on a talk show where he was going to come out and say the title, and then he doesn't say the title, and it's just, it's all for fun, and it's just to promote his charity. So I'm thinking hopefully they still stick with Avengers Endgame. I know Marvel doesn't like leaks, and they change stuff because they don't want to, give a fan or whoever else, some credibility or whatever. Oh, he must know some insider info. But I think Endgame should stick with They should stick with the title with Endgame, because there's a couple things about Endgame that make sense with the MCU. We saw Doctor Strange say it, and Tony Stark says it in Avengers: Age of Ultron too. And then there's another cool tie-in. I recently reread Jim Starlin's Infinity Gauntlet comic, Infinity War and Infinity Crusade. And in Infinity Crusade, they say Endgame too. So everything kind of ties in. The comics, Jim Starlin's comics with Thanos, with Avengers, Age of Ultron, with Infinity War. And plus, Marvel's true Endgame is what comes next following Avengers 4 with their Phase 4 plans, which has been said to be cosmic in a huge way. And they've already announced an Eternals movie. There's other possibilities, maybe with the Avengers 4 title. Zoe Saldana said it was Infinity Gauntlet a while back, but then it was reported they changed that too because she leaked it. Let's see. What do you guys think would be a cool Avengers 4 title? Any guesses? Here on YouTube, Brick from Mars, he says, "What if the Avengers 4 trailer never comes to build up the hype and have more people come to the cinema or premiere?" Yeah, I'm with it. You know what I say? I don't like watching trailers too much because a lot of them spoil things. When I watched Infinity War, I kind of went into it dry. I didn't watch too many of the trailers. Could you imagine if I think the Russo brothers or Joe Russo said they're going to market Avengers 4 differently than any other film in history? Excuse me. But could you imagine if they didn't release a trailer for it? They just released like a teaser poster with a big A in the title. You know, fans are already going ballistic. Oh, excuse me. And they're waiting on the Avengers 4 trailer, but what if the Russo brothers didn't even release it? You could argue they don't even have to release the title. Fans, you know, everybody's going to go see Avengers 4 anyway, right? Or release the trailer. It could be, Bricks from Mars says the title could be Avengers Cleaning the Dust. Yeah, there's all kinds of rumored titles. There's all kinds of rumors about Avengers 4. You know, there's the one that says it's going to be set 5 years in the future, like a time jump or something. You know, if you've been following all the news, there's those Avengers 4 concept art with those white costumes. They're like white, red, and black, I think, and they kind of remind me of the Bendis McNiven reboot Guardians of the Galaxy costumes, which I hated. They're pretty ugly. Like they have Iron Man wearing a see if I'll bring it up on Twitter. They have Iron Man wearing one of these costumes, which looks ridiculous. They have Ant-Man wearing one. He's already got his own suit. He doesn't need one. They have Hulk wearing one. Why does the Hulk need a suit? I mean, it shows him as a team. But let's see what we got. Yeah, Cosmic Quest. Yeah, I could go over that too. We went over a lot of this stuff on Wednesday while we were waiting for the Russo brothers to drop the trailer, which never happened. But let me bring up. Let me see if I can find those white costumes. They're red, white, and black. See this Thor one right here? That's fan art, but they look just like that. Let's see. Right here. Where is it? Should be coming. Here they are. These right here. See, these costumes are said to be Avengers 4 costumes, but what they seem legit because a piece of a toy package also showed Thor, Rocket Raccoon, and Captain America wearing them. But look at Iron Man. I mean, look. Why would he put that over his armor? That doesn't even make sense. Here's Cap right here. There's Thor, Hawkeye. Look at Ant-Man. There's Rocket, Nebula, Hulk, and Black Widow. I don't like these costumes at all. As I said, they remind me of the 2008 Guardians of the Galaxy, or not 2008, the Bendis reboot when Bendis nabbed or stole the Guardians of the Galaxy from Abnett and Lanning. They rebooted, you know, like Star-Lord and all them, and McNiven redid these costumes, and they were ugly as heck. This is what they remind me of. So maybe, you know, it's possible that maybe this is the Avengers team 5 years from now, and this is the costumes they wear. That's one theory. Another theory is that the Avengers time travel in the movie, so they need some kind of special costume to try, you know, the time travel. And then the other theory is that they need a special costume to travel within the quantum realm, which kind of ties into the time travel theory because inside the quantum realm is the time vortex. And if you watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, Michelle Pfeiffer told Paul Rudd, "Be careful of the time vortexes inside the quantum realm." And now at this, you know, the post-credit scene for Ant-Man and the Wasp showed Scott Lang, it's Paul Rudd's character, Ant-Man, stuck inside the quantum realm. So how's he going to escape? Well, the theory is that he uses a time vortex to escape. Maybe he goes to the future, maybe he goes to the past, maybe he goes to both. Because as of right now, Ant-Man doesn't know about the Thanos. He doesn't know about the snapping because he's inside the quantum realm as everybody's outside, and they're all turning into dust. Wasp, Evangeline Lilly Wasp, Michael Douglas is Hank Pym, and Michelle Pfeiffer is Janet Van Dyne. They all turned to dust, and Ant-Man was left inside the quantum realm wondering what's going on, right? Yeah, we'll get to this cosmic. They can call it Avengers Assemble. Marvel fan 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of people have said they could call it Avengers Assemble. The only thing with that is the first Avengers movie in the United Kingdom and like the UK was called Avengers Assemble because there was a copyright issue in the UK because there's a TV series called The Avengers in the 60s or whatever it was. So Marvel and Disney, they couldn't call it the Avengers movie, so they had to call it something else. They called it Avengers Assemble in the UK. So more than likely, Avengers 4 isn't going to have the same title. But the Cosmic Quest book, that revealed some. We'll get to that here. Some quick background. There's an Infinity War Cosmic Quest tie-in book that I guess it's official, but the writer of the book on Twitter, he tweeted the covers. Here we go. He didn't delete them, did he? Yeah, here we go. He tweeted. He posted the covers of the Avengers Infinity War Cosmic Quest. This is the second part, and on the back includes a description, which is pretty interesting. First of all, it reveals that Eric Selvig and Darcy Lewis, they both survived the snapping, right? And the book also says a new foe who threatens to destroy them all is looming. So it's if this writer had any access to the Avengers 4, it seems there's a new foe in Avengers 4. Now, is it Galactus? I don't know. Is it Annihilus? I don't know. But what's also interesting that ties into this book about saying that there's a new foe or villain in Avengers 4 is here's that concept art or not the concept art. Here's the packaging, the toy packaging that reveals those ugly costumes. But the descriptions for Thor and Rocket Raccoon say kind of the same thing. Thor's toy description says, as Guardian Thor wields the mighty Stormbreaker in a battle against new foes, and Rocket says Rocket teams up with a new crew to guard the galaxy from an even greater threat. Now, what's that mean? An even greater threat than Thanos? Which is hard to believe unless Thanos doesn't have the Infinity Gauntlet. But a greater threat could be Galactus and the Silver Surfer. Can you imagine if they're in Avengers 4? Or Annihilus, and then they give us Nova too and Annihilus, and they kind of incorporate the Annihilation comic into the MCU through Avengers 4. That would be crazy. Yeah, Brick from Mars. We just went over when the trailer's going to get the rumor about the trailer on Monday. Exactly. The Prelude comic comes out Wednesday, December 5th. It's assumed, this is the comic right here, it's assumed that it will have the title on it. But comic shop owners get the comic on Tuesday, so they could potentially leak it. So that's why it's speculated that the Avengers 4 trailer will be released on Monday. And this guy who's connected to like NBC News and Today Show and CNBC, he's worked from before, on Twitter, this guy Anthony Quintano, he posted, "Get ready for an Avengers 4 title and trailer release on Monday." Which makes sense if the Prelude comic comes out Wednesday with the title and comic shop owners get it Tuesday. What else we got? I wish it's tomorrow or sooner. Hey, we only got a couple days, hopefully. But what they could actually do, which would be a kick in the butt, or the other spot, if this Prelude comic does have the title, right, and it comes out on Wednesday, and comic shop owners get it on Tuesday, they could just release a teaser poster with the title on Monday, and then they could hold a trailer for whenever they want. You know, like somebody said on Stanley's birthday is December 28th. You know, they could do it then. That would actually be pretty cool. But yeah, as I said on Wednesday during the Russo our live Q&A on YouTube, this Avengers Prelude Marvel comic looks to be the key about getting some information about Avengers 4. Because if this has the title, you can guarantee Marvel Studios is going to release something before this comic book does. You know, before this comic book hits comic shops on Wednesday, and owners or comic shop owners get it in their hands on Tuesday, Marvel Studios has to release Avengers 4 info. Again, assuming this has the title on it. So if this doesn't have the title, then they don't have to release anything. All right, let me check a couple things. I'll be back in a second. See if I can get this to work. Yep, all right, that works. Let's see. We got Facebook. We're still on Facebook. Let me see. Did I do this? There we go. See if that chat pops up on your screen. Yep. Right now we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Smash TV at the same time. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's see. All right, well, I'm going to go over to Daredevil Cancellation one more time and then the Avengers trailer, and we're going to call it a night. Yesterday, Netflix announced the cancellation of Daredevil, which follows Luke Cage and Iron Fist getting canceled. So in one way, it was kind of a surprise because, you know, it seemed like Daredevil was safe. It was thought the viewership was pretty solid. But then again, since Netflix canceled Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and in addition, since Disney's launching their own streaming service with Disney Play, you know, it kind of makes sense that Netflix is giving Marvel the boot. But what's worth a mention about Netflix's statement is right here. Netflix says while the series has ended, the 3 existing seasons of Daredevil will remain on Netflix for, look at this, years to come. But they said, look at this, the Daredevil character, keyword being here character, will live on in future projects for Marvel. Then you had Marvel released a similar statement too. So this basically sounds like to me is that Netflix owns the rights to Daredevil as it is now with Charlie Cox, because it's going to remain on their Netflix for years to come. You know, it's not going to be on available on the Disney Play streaming service. It's going to only be on Netflix, and Netflix decided against doing a Daredevil season 4, which 2 weeks ago we know the Daredevil season 3 showrunner pitched Netflix Daredevil season 4. But Netflix says the Daredevil character can live on in future projects for Marvel, which means Marvel would reboot Daredevil and not use Charlie Cox. That's what I'm guessing. So Daredevil looks to be history. Luke Cage is history. Iron Fist is history. Netflix is going to release the next season of Jessica Jones, the next season of Punisher. Then it's expected that Netflix is going to announce that they're done. It's also thought that quite possibly Charlie Cox and Daredevil could appear in either Jessica Jones or Punisher or both. Maybe get a send-off, and that'll be it. So, Daredevil's history. There was a reporter for the Rolling Stones magazine who also took to Twitter and said basically the same thing. That it's not going to be on Disney Play streaming service because Marvel Studios is developing and they're separate and don't get along with Marvel TV, who runs, you know, these shows. And he also insinuated that they're not coming to Hulu either. Now, here's a question about Infinity War. Do you think the Hulk might have died in the snap and Banner might never be Hulk again? I don't think that. We know in Infinity War why the reason the Hulk didn't come out, it wasn't because he was afraid of Thanos. You know, at the start of the movie, you know, Thanos kicked the crap out of the Hulk, and then the Hulk didn't come out, so a lot of fans thought that the Hulk was afraid, and so didn't want to come out. But what Joe Russo explained is Hulk wasn't afraid of Thanos. What he was doing, he was teaching Banner a lesson, because the only time Banner wants the Hulk is to use him to fight, use him to help him or protect him. So this time around, the Hulk, he told Banner to basically, you know, go fly a kite. But obviously, it's guessed in Avengers 4, the Hulk and Banner come to some kind of mutual agreement, which sees Banner and Hulk maybe merge, and we get some sort of MCU version of the Professor Smart Hulk from the Peter David comics, maybe, which was one of my favorite Hulks. But that's all speculation and stuff like that. But if the Hulk was turned to dust in the snapping by Thanos, I assume Banner would be too, because they're not two separate people. They're one. They've always been one person. But now getting back to the Avengers 4 trailer, again, is speculated to be released on Monday, because this right here, this Avengers Prelude comic comes out on Wednesday, and on Tuesday the comic shop owners get it delivered. So the comic shop owners get this delivered on Tuesday, and if it shows the title, you can betcha that they would let it be known. So Marvel Studios has guessed Marvel Studios is going to release the Avengers 4 trailer on Monday. which is what this Twitter dude here says. Anthony Quintana says, get ready for an Avengers 4 title and trailer released Monday, December 3rd. He worked at Civil Beat, NBC News, Today Show, Recode, and CNBC. So he seems pretty legit. The only other possibility that could happen is that whoever told Anthony Quintana this information could be trolling him. You know, they could be feeding him some false news, some fake news, you know, in hopes that he tweets it out, which he did. So, but again, it's all back to this Prelude comic. If this Prelude comic has the title that gets published on Wednesday and comic shop owners have it on Tuesday, Marvel Studios has to release something on Monday. But if this Prelude comic doesn't have the title, and Marvel Studios would know that ahead of time, they don't have to release anything. So wait till Monday. That's all we can guess right now. All right, we got. I'll field some questions on YouTube if we got some, or I mean on the chat. Even if you're on Facebook, it'll pop up. It should be. But it looks like it's all just Facebook. Well, I get the questions here though. But let's see. Regarding the Ghost Rider who gave Robbie his powers. Well, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that's what I assume that's what you're talking about. In Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Ghost Rider, they had that one scene where another Ghost Rider came and gave, like, passed his powers on or whatever to Robbie. Clark Gregg confirmed it was Johnny Blaze. Now, it's not Nicolas Cage, Johnny Cage. That's Sony. That was something different. That's history. They never revealed an actor for. They never really went into that too much. But Clark Gregg, who plays Phil Coulson, did say it was Johnny Blaze. I remember writing an article about it. But will we ever see Daredevil or Ghost Rider again? I don't know. The actor that actually played Ghost Rider for the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he's the new Terminator in Terminator 6. Let's see, you got any other questions? The multiverse, yeah. Right around when Doctor Strange came out, there was talk about the multiverse. I mean, that's how they could introduce maybe the X-Men and Fantastic Four or the Fox Studios. You know, maybe they come from the multiverse and come into our universe. It's going to be interesting how they do the X-Men and Fantastic Four in the MCU. And Disney CEO Bob Iger also let it be known that some of the Fox Marvel characters are going to be a part of the Disney Plus streaming service app. So we could potentially see an X-Men TV series maybe, or maybe even a Fantastic Four TV series. Yeah, the chat doesn't look like it's updating. Let me check it out. Let's see if that works. Let's see if this works. I'm seeing it here. I don't know why. Alright, doesn't look like this chat box is working. I'm gonna take it off. Alright, I think that's gonna be it for the night. Well, just to recap, Marvel canceled Daredevil with it sounding like Netflix still owns the rights to the character, or not the character, to the TV series because it's going to be on there for years. But Marvel could always reboot the character and involve it in other projects. An Avengers 4 trailer. It's rumored for Monday. Right here. Get ready for an Avengers 4 title and trailer release on Monday. Because it's thought this Prelude comic book that gets released on Wednesday will have the title, and local comic shop owners get it delivered to them on Tuesday so they can set it up early. So there you have it. Avengers 4 trailer, look for it on Monday. Take it easy, guys. I think we should be done here.